Hello everyone, my name is Wang. Today I'm going to presenting my third workshop. My project title is School Ground Greening, which is to develop a model for comprehensive design with multiple benefits. So I'm going to give the detail for each sections. As the first is come to my research question, is how can the value of school ground greening project be increased for the all stakeholders and their communities through a co-design process. So as the co-design process, it means the designer take a hands-on role for the school building of the ground and work a collaborative way to develop this design through a model. And also another definition is what is school ground greening? It's an improvement of school ground through a development of garden and the learning opportunities for outdoor learning opportunities. As I show in some examples, as this one is showing the low impact design solution to solve the rainwater system from the roof. And also I summarized this benefit of this project is a good way to improve environment learning and give students or them more physical exercise and also increase biodiversity. And here is going to my research rationale. As I notice, generally they are underfunded, and also they are quite overburdened by relying on a single teacher or something to letting the project move on. And also another key point is that they miss the potential learning opportunity to letting the children to involve this the design process. And also sometimes the school staff or the teacher maybe lack design experience or the professional knowledge. So here, to my research aim is to develop this and test a method that for the method tablet for the landscape architect could use this to become more actively and involved in this school ground greening project. So here is how I developed my design process. That I studied quite a lot co-design examples, and I summarized some of the methods that I chose the design shred because this method is group-based and group focus and workshop-based, and also it's short time to frame. So it's also delivered into two parts. As first is Gulliver's mapping. This method is to provide a large-scale maps to the participants, adding their picture or their comments or some ideas like this. Sorry, it's a little bit lost. As this showing like Fiona Roby used this method to do for the Sydney the playground, as this. In the center is large-scale maps, and all is children's comments, some ideas. And a recent example was a child-friendly audit of the Freiburg Square located in the Auckland CBD. It looks like this. And another method is the 3CM method called Conceptual Content Cognitive Map. This is used by the American Ecological Park. They run for 3 workshops. As all this example lead to my design method will have 4 workshops. As first will be give the general knowledge like my design brief and design principle, which include 3 themes. They include increasing the biodiversity and to encouraging activity and exploration, and also for the And the last one is to provide more sitting, eating, and social areas, which include sitting area for them to watching sports, basic on that school ground. And the second workshop, and also do the poster session. As the second workshop will basic on the first workshop's poster sections idea collection to do the model session. And then followed for the third workshop, I will presenting my design draft to the student to collecting some feedback from students, school staff, and some parents and caregivers. And through this will be a questionnaire. And the last, I will presenting the final design and ask for students for some evaluation, like what they learn through this process. So here I done some set analysis as here. This school, Roy Road Primary School, I chose it's located in the Waitakere area in west of Auckland. The reason I chose this school is Enviro School, and it already has history school ground greening projects, include engineering in school. This to build winter turbine to power the water system go to the propagation unit. And also this school is low decile school, only have two with 300 students. So I done a little bit research for some research of the Enviro School. This is a New Zealand basic nationwide program for pre-primary and secondary school. And there are approximately 30% of the New Zealand school belong to this Enviro School program. And this is managed by Tomata Foundation. So I also done the research of the historical development of the Waitakere area, and go for the detail of that area's contours and that school, Royal Road Primary Schools, looks, and also do the underground services. There not so much underground system during this year, and also do the little bit messy first. And here is the school's viewing, like there already exist the cycle track and the propagation unit, not so large picture as here, propagation unit. So after all this exist project, I found out during this area it hasn't been developed and used. That could be my further design. And also here is a bigger picture. Here is the bush area, and which linked to this huge, large native area could get some link and to learn, get more environment learning from that area. And also, I found another problem behind this classroom area. Is this area is become quite muddy during winter rain seasons because of the stormwater system discharging under the classroom. So it could be another site, like for the I design. And also this is a bush, looks like inside. It's a little bit isolated with the surrounding like this cycle track area. Move a little bit. Oh yeah, here is a big picture. So after this, I done the ethic application because I work with the children, so I need this part. And the following week, I run for my first workshop on the 21st May, and I do the general background information, giving them my design principle, and my design brief, and the site, how to marrying the site, and showing all the pictures. And also, we back to the classroom, do the poster session, letting children to write their ideas on the small pictures, and they worked in a group. And after the post session, I summarized all these ideas, but also categorized them in 3 themes, like before I mentioned the increasing biodiversity and so on. And after this, I noticed there are some things goes well, some are not. Like this lead me to be more preparation for the next workshop. And so I need to prepare like a worksheet, like to keep all the children on the task. And also, I noticed using a photo or drawing like basic on the Gulliver's mapping, that method may be more engaging, especially for the boys. So as for my second workshop, I prepared the worksheet and all the model making material. And on this, the second workshop, all the students are quite very engaging, and I noticed they are work very hard and highly motivated on this workshop. And I summarized some key ideas as a campfire and some mini-maze. It's all children's work. And the water feature, all this. So after these 2 workshops, I analyzed all this data from two workshops, not only one, from both of the workshop, and to lead to my this result. Like we can see this, the most noticeable part is the student quite keen on to increasing the nature. Like they want some, they have some detail, like they want some edible plants for people or bird or some, and also they want to have some warm, like insect box or something. And also they, and another important part is they want to build structure, especially focus on the tree house. It's another big part, which includes also have tunnel or something. Tree house, and all these categories I summarized them lead to this final idea, student idea list. These ideas leads to my the further design, and this include tree house and similar some activities which have flying fox or bushwalk activity, and also they want pizza oven and with some sitting or eating area, and also water feature, like it's also better to solve this besides the classroom's drainage problem. And want to increase the tree extending and attract more bird to increase the biodiversity. And they want some learning area and quiet space. So here is, this is, I move to this part. Summarized. Here is my concept plan. As I go from here, yeah.
Maybe show us on that, because we can't really see there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. It's maybe, yeah, maybe not clear. Oh, I start with here. Here will be the pizza oven area with the bench space for the food preparation, and followed is the table with some bench sitting area, and this size will available for a whole classroom of students. And beside this sitting area is the pizza ingredient garden. They can linked with this pizza oven area, and followed by here it will be the flexible performance space because in this area already exist Pahudkava trees, make this ground surface quite a lot of roof. So I can't go underground to build some facilities for this. So I raised this deck, and also beside this tree block, there will have some rope and some rope ladders, make them to playing with this area. And beside this classroom wall, I will give a mural art. This will be painted as Edmund Hillary, and climbing the mountain, because want to give them inspiration more positive. Because during the model section, one of the group have the idea of climbing a climbing wall. So I saw, depending on this design area's condition, I thought maybe could paint this picture. And beside here is the we'll have a small bridge and covered this rain garden to solve this drainage problem. And besides all the rain garden, there have some native grass. And just behind this classroom, we'll prepare some sitting area for parents or students to watching sports at this cycle track area. And also they have the rugby, do the rugby area. And followed by here is the, they will build outdoor cubes. As before, children quite keen on the tree house, but basic on this condition, the condition, I think the outdoor cube may be more suitable for them to do the like a quiet space for sitting and reading books. And beside here is the entrance, use a pond log to leading them into this campfire space. And this just a recreational campfire. It's not for real, because here is a bush area, quite a lot of wood and something. And followed this pathway, there have a insect hotel, like increasing the biodiversity. And then followed is the creativity area, letting children could use the natural material to build a hut. And besides this creativity area, there have two pathways to lead to the next area. At this pathway, they may decorate it like a maze, like or the stepping log or some another stepping stone, make them more interesting, not boring. And followed by here, this will be the nature room, as this will use the shipping container with a big window at this direction. And at this direction could see the further that native area, which will have a link to that area.
2 minutes.
Yeah, nearly finished. And, so here is my summary of my next workshop. So all these two workshops are going quite positive, and the school and all the children is quite help me to go run for my design work. It's really come up quite a lot of design ideas, and also I'm quite thanks for them for the student to participate this. And after this workshop, I will back to the school to present my draft planning as here. And before I show in this, it looks like, and to do my kind of like some feedback from the student and the school teacher and all the parents. And followed, I will give the final design work and to do the evaluation. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So just to kind of so I'm clear, so it's a kind of process where you design a children's environment through this
Co-design process.
This co-design process.
Yeah.
So the first one is you talk to the students and they make suggestions through post-it notes.
Yeah.
You collect them and then you
Do the model session.
and then you develop a kind of brief, or you develop a plan, or what do you do with the post-it notes?
Post note. At this first workshop, I done the poster section. As this, I focus this kind of like how to say, during this process, I want to give them space for the children to open mind, to have more ideas.
Yeah.
But I don't want to affect them too much. So I kind of like draw this, I letting them to open mind first to draw or have some.
So they draw these
ideas, yeah.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, and after that, I kind of like have a little bit of conversation with them to describe to me what they think, what they feel about that site, and I adding some kind of like my professional knowledge, which gives them a little bit direction, not too over open mind.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's the thing that comes out of it? Do you
Yeah,
plan or do you do a
here is the plan, like,
I see.
the
So you-
nature is the most important part.
so you kind
They're
of,
quite keen on this area.
It's like desire, it's all, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so there's no design. No design.
Process is
Process.
more important for me
Okay.
to do this project
And the
because
second
I want.
thing, okay, so the second thing the second workshop you're using models, and
Yeah.
they use models to describe what they want.
Yeah, and all the model ideas is basic on the first workshop's
I get it,
ideas
yeah.
collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from that you develop a
This
a
kind of like,
diagram.
this is kind of the ideas come from the children's. It's quite a lot of detail, but I summarized.
I get it, and then you develop from that you develop a plan.
Yeah, plan.
And
Like,
then how does that you taking that back? How do you get feedback? What's the technique for getting feedback from children?
I will
your plan?
hand out the questionnaire sheet. Like,
questionnaire sheet, okay.
yeah, and also will present my draft plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have a conversation, like talk what they feel about this.
And they fill out a questionnaire about what they like or they don't like.
Yeah,
And
and
then
I will collect all the feedback and back to design again. Maybe some, not really all design again, just fix some, like some place maybe need more improvement. Not really.
okay.
Yeah.
I think of it.
Yeah.
Right, that's good.
What are your criticisms of the design process, of the method?
So
What's the
Do you
problem?
have you identified any
yeah.
criticisms of your method?
At the first workshop, the children little bit not quite engage on this idea collection, because during the voting part, they need to choose the best 3 ideas from their from each group poster, but they only prefer to choose their own ideas. So that is lead my next workshop little bit how to say, not quite engaged to present the worksheet based on my 3 themes. So a little bit kind of like combine this idea, but also have some inappropriate ideas. So I should organize how I will to kind of like lead to this worksheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second question is, going into your first workshop,
Yeah.
was that like a blank canvas going in working with the students, or did you go in with an intention to, for example, lead them through a method which enabled the enactment of school values, for example? So I'll tell you what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
The kura that my children go to have some values. for example, kairangi, which means excellence, pono, which means truth. So all of those school values are reiterated through everything at Kura, through everything at school. So did this particular school have any kind of values or any kind of starting point that might have altered? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, but I haven't didn't think about this. I only
Virus schools.
yeah, it's in various school, and also I think that's why letting the children to guide my design process is because they are more familiar than me to do for their own school's design, and the in various school how to say do I need to give the
No, that's cool. That's cool. And just one last question: were the kids aware that their ideas were also representative of the rest of the children in the school? So, did I hear you say they were 9 to 11-year-olds?
Yeah, 9 to 11
But
years old. Yeah,
5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds also go to that school?
Oh, I just choose one class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking, were the students aware that in their ideas they were also
If they more older,
considering other kids?
So they basically say, take over for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Remember you got some comments like that. Remember they wanted to do things for younger children? Some of the ideas.
yeah, some of the students give inappropriate ideas. They mention no.
Ideas for younger children at the school, remember?
A little bit forgot that.
They wanted to build things for the younger children.
Oh, the care center, the children care center.
It's got actually a daycare.
Yeah, daycare center.
Cool.
At
Right.
the school as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
Cool.
Daycare center. Yeah.
Cool.
So it looks all a really good process, and it's good to start with the Enviro School so that the teachers and the pupils already had some of those good principles to start off with. I guess having been part of a project at a school in my area that went through a similar process, the local board had actually put forward about $1 million to actually have a new playground in a park. It was at an intermediate school, and they came up with wonderful ideas, and we were going to enact it, but then the next year different kids came along and said they hated all the ideas that the year before had put up, and they wanted something entirely different, and so we actually haven't spent that $1 million, we've spent it somewhere else.
Oh no.
So it was a disaster.
Oh.
So, well, for us, because we genuinely wanted to build something, and the children came up with amazing ideas that we had, I think, Unitec students along during that process. And they came up with great ideas. We had it all costed. We were ready to go with the first phase when the principal rang up and said, oh, sorry, the students of the next year don't like anything that the students of the year before, even though she was the principal there. So I guess, so the process is good. I mean, at the end of the day, those children took part in a process that was collaborative and interesting, and there were actually different groups competing. So it wasn't just one classroom. We actually had about 5 groups competing, and one of them won a prize, you know, that was coming through the best design. So have they any hope of that this is going to happen, or happen in stages, or some of the things are going to happen? So that's the question. Is it just an exercise which in itself is good, or have they hoped that it's going to come into that it will actually happen? Some elements of it will happen.
A little bit lost the question.
Is it going to be built?
Yeah.
Is your design going to be built?
Oh, it depends on the school. If they have some, depends on their money. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
they really, how to say, the principal is quite welcome me to do this co-design work. But as a further, I'm not sure. But they already have an project for the engineering in school.
Right.
To design the wind turbine. So further, if they think this design makes sense for them school condition or something else, they may.
So I suppose what I was going to say to you in the final bit, which you're going to be coming to, whether or not you can package an easy, perhaps inexpensive first part, so that they can actually take up that part, if you like. So you don't have this huge big thing that they say, where are we going to start? They can say, yes, this is the place that we'll start.
The hook.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And that might be a good idea, and it might be something too you have to talk over with the the
Children
teachers
also
and
teach.
principal as well, and so that also those students might get to see and be part of it being built, as well.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an interesting idea.
Okay.
Yes, it's a shame they all want tree huts, and you know that there's no way they're ever going to be built because they'll fall out of them and hurt themselves. But anyway, they all want tree huts.
Yeah.
Okay, is that helpful, Qian?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. And Sue,
Yeah.
helpful? Questions?
Yes, I mean,
Anything else you want to ask our expert panel?
no. I mean, I think that the comments made here are relevant to sort of perhaps you generally looking at as your background to the project. That whole idea of carrying on a project over a number of years, it has to be managed quite cleverly, and I think that what was capable in the time that Qian's had is more of a discrete thing rather than an ongoing, but I've had involvement in much longer term projects and they can work. But like you say, the school is very open to things, and they managed to do the wind turbine.
Already have this.
So there may be a possibility that a little part of this, and they did actually give a steer on this, in that they wanted the pizza oven. So we kind of got stuck with the pizza oven at the start. So that's
Maybe you
probably
can build a pizza oven.
the bit that will happen. But Qian's come up with some nice ideas around that, like growing some plants for that are pizza friendly.
Garden to table type things.
Yeah, or just some
Piece
little
of
raised bed
ingredient.
planters for pizza friendly plants, and the table and seating where a whole class could sit and have a meal together. I think,
Around 6 or 5 meters, 5 or 6 meters.
So that
for
could be a
the
nice
whole class.
little.
So our local board funds garden to table things at local primary
Right,
schools.
yes.
So it
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen. They're keen. They're very keen. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Qian.